SNX Radio invites you to unravel the mysteries of the cosmos with us as we dive into UFOs, cryptids, and everything otherworldly. As we navigate the night, we investigate the unknowns that spark our curiosity and challenge our understanding of reality.
The truth is our guide in the vast expanse. It's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright.
From the combination X quest, the truth is our guide in the vast expanse. It's where we reside. Hands up to the sky, let the bass ignite. Feel the groove surround us, everything's alright. SNX Radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light.
The frequency, let's explore the spots. Heavy bass drops with tight beats.
Illuminate the shadows, the echo of our call.
On this roller ring we'll never fall.
Feel the energy rising, can you sense the spark? As we dive deeper into the cosmic arc.
Stories of the universe, mysteries unfold. In the heart of SNX, where the truth is gold. Every note we play, every line we write, crafting our legacy, shining ever bright.
SNX Radio, let the truth ignite. Together we'll shine, bringing shadows to light. In this cosmic dance, we're connecting the dots.
Tune into the frequency, let's explore the spot. Here in the spotlight, we're taking our turn. With the fire in our hearts, let the passion burn. SNX Radio's call, ringing through the air. Together we rise, together we dare.
So join us now, let the rhythm flow. With SNX Radio, we're ready to go. Unraveling the mystery side by side, we stand hand in hand. In this dance of truth, let the story expand. In the still of the night, when shadows creep, whispers of secrets and silence seep. Coley's voice cuts through the dark, guiding us where the mystery spark. A journey awaits, far from our home, through realms unseen where wild thoughts roam. With experts aligned, their truths to share, unfolding the fabric of cosmic despair. Take the leap, step into the night. With SNX Radio, we will ignite a symphony of strange where the bass drops low, journeying deep where the unknown flows. UFOs glisten in the starlit sky. ET whispers, look up, don't be shy. Paranormal tales woven into fate, as Coley invites us to contemplate.
Heavy beats.
Feel that chill when shadows align. Experiences unfold one Take the journey, come on, let's go. Ooh yeah, where the stars and secrets glow. Some Nation X radios glow. In the night, we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own, yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Night sky whispers in the dark. Secret trails will leave a mark. Follow close, ignite that spark. We're alive, it's just the start. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own, yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. Every heartbeat, pure delight. Mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own, yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the rhythm, feel the night. It's every heartbeat, pure delight. Mysteries come to light. Hold on tight, it's out of sight. It's out of sight. Into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own, yeah, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go. Feel the burning, come on, let's go. Feel it. Oh yeah, where the stars and secrets glow so bright. Some Nation X radios glow. Oh no, in the night we'll ride the show into the unknown, unknown, where mysteries are shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, own. Come with us and let it go, go, go. When mysteries are shown, shown, shown. Dance to the beat we own, yeah. Come with us and let it go, go.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of SNX Radio. I'm Coley, your host tonight, and I see chats going. I want to thank everyone who hung in there tonight. We have a great guest. It's the first time that she's been on SNX, so definitely want to give her a warm welcoming. But I was just so everybody knows what I'm doing when I'm on there. In case you don't, I'm dropping the link live. So our guests have the biggest audience that we can possibly put them in front of. And usually that happens on X and on Facebook. So I just wait a minute, enjoy the music. If you can't stand it, just know you got about 7 minutes. You can run, go grab some drinks or, popcorn or whatever you like to eat or drink. But before I bring out our lovely guest, I just want to say hello to everybody in chat. Spider Bite, hey girl, Kitty Catty Whack, nice to see you. I saw your message the other day. Yeah, it's always when you're not there, it feels like somebody's missing. Kurt W75, of course, in the house. Great Starseed Lightworkers. I wonder, okay, this is probably our girl Pink Bella. So Robert Ball, love you. I love you. Benno from Oz 1975, you're the best. Nice to see you back in here as always. And I don't know why I say back in here, but definitely Matt Pack 777. You're the best. You really are. You're wonderful. So we got another 333 Nathan. Nice to have you. Glad if you're on Facebook, sometimes we don't always get your messages over here. Just so you know, we're trying to do whatever we can, but StreamYard is sometimes fighting not in our favor. So let's just go into it before we bring our lovely Pink Bella Aloha out. She's also is known as simply Pink Bella. She's a spiritual healer, ascension guide, and multidimensional therapist. She's based in Canada. She specializes in supporting starseeds, light workers, Blu-rays, and the 144,000 souls preparing for 5D New Earth Ascension. Her work blends ancient wisdom from the Atlantis with modern quantum healing techniques focusing on soul, mission, clarity, chromatic. Yeah, it's one of those days. The karmanic, your karma, let's just say it that way, your karma cleaning, and holistic. She's cosmic orientated, designed to facilitate personal and collective ascension. She goes into your galactic Akashic records, readings, deep dives into personal, and she's, goes into your lineage and all those things that you're talking about. We were talking behind stage how important clearings are and just everything that's kind of going on in the world today. So she brought her cards. She's absolutely excellent. Without further ado, let's bring Pink Bella on out here and let her tell you just a little bit more about herself that I miss. Welcome, Pink Bella.
Aloha. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much, Coley, for having me on. I'm super grateful to be here.
Yeah, I know we're very, very happy to have you. So just for people who don't know you, who haven't seen you in other places, why don't you just let them know kind of who you are, what you do?
I'm a multi-purpose being on the planet. I was just mentioning to Coley, so thank you everyone for being here. I'm super happy. I consider myself like a multi-dimensional intergalactic galactic liaison with Prime Source, and I have different star councils that I work with. But I really like to sort of bring the information in and translate it so everybody can understand it, like the average person can understand it, like someone from the beginning right up to someone who's been working with all this for years. My original awakening was way back in 1994. I trekked to the pyramids of what I thought was on a holiday, and I had a complete activation at the Sphinx, and then it took me a couple of years to figure out what had happened. I got like a reboot. So I do bring in a lot of information, and I feel like actually even that was where I got the download for the Galactic Akashic Records, but they actually didn't show themselves to me till 2 years ago. Up until that point, I started reading everyone's like personal Akashic records and helping with soul contracts and ancestral karma and all these great things that block us from living our most wonderful life. And the galactic records, they're off planet. They are source guarded. So I actually, in case anyone asked today, I specifically asked, who's looking after the galactic Akashic records? So they're behind Vault and Key. And there's a couple of high-end galactic groups that work directly with source, and they don't let anybody in and out. There's just two groups, so they're highly monitored. So I can read them, but I'm not allowed to go and rewrite them, which is a good thing.
And for those of you who don't know what Akashic Records are, I've had mine read before too. It's going in, and you'll probably explain it better than I do, Pink Bella, but it's going into all those past lives that we have.
I'll make it easy. I'll just show a little notebook. This is your life and all your lives. So every think about a book. Every chapter in a book is going to be a lifetime. And some of those chapters are going to be about ancestral imprinting that we agreed to activate, clear, heal in our lives based on the fact that we incarnated and chose a certain family lineage. So that's what everybody's dealing with right now. It's been heavy. It's been a heavy year, let me tell you.
Ooh, has it been
Yeah.
a heavy year? Oh, you can say that again.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know everybody's felt like the shifts and the changes and just people around them that they once thought they knew or felt, I don't know how you feel about this, but like, are we jumping timelines here? The forks in the road, like those people or is it them that's, got something mentally going on? Because that's a big, huge part of all of this too. I really believe in some of it.
Yeah.
But what do you think the deal is? Like, why are we all
We
being
are
so
jumping
divided?
timelines. We are jumping timelines. And then on a soul level. So even all of us here, we agreed to be here today together on a soul level. Everyone showed up. And there are individuals in our lives, the earth, our earth family of friends. We just are going through a Mercury retrograde, everyone, and that is a timeline recalibration. Where we all sort of decide where we're going to be after the end of it. And I never knew this when I first started to know about Mercury retrograde years ago, but it's a recalibration of our timelines. So if we have people in our lives who don't know about expanding, doing shadow work, healing, they're kind of in a way getting farther and farther away at the moment to communicate with us. So this has been the weirdest Mercury retrograde I've experienced. Like everybody dropped away.
Does it feel like that? Yes. No,
Yeah, yeah.
I get that.
Yeah,
I even understand, like,
or if you tried to reach out to somebody, they might send you a note back that just seemed so like, what is that? Like, it makes no sense. Like, I'm over here talking in this language, and they're over here talking the other language. So I think Mercury's going to go direct tomorrow, so I feel like things will start to settle down a bit. And it's not like we're not going to be able to spend time with friends and family, but I think what this Mercury retrograde to me, what it's shown me is where everybody's at right now, what lane they're in. And some are just downright don't want to do the work, not interested, don't want to know, don't want to expand, don't want to know more about why they're here, or so
that's so true. They don't want to know anymore. It's like people, I think, have gotten to the point where a lot of times just head in the sand and
there's a lot going on in the world. Like in every single country, there's so much going on right now. It's very volatile. It's very stressful. You can just mention one person's name and someone's going to go off on a tangent. Yeah. That's right. So I'm sort of used to being a lone wolf and doing my own thing anyway. And I've been really creative this Mercury retrograde. I've been writing, ebooks and all sorts of things. But I do see like, wow. We were shown this last couple of weeks where people are at, how much they are really in our lives, and or they can't participate. So if something came up in the future, you'll remember, oh yeah, 2 months ago I reached out to that person and they were like that, and that was actually we were being shown like their actual frequency, like where they're at. So yeah, we just did we're 3-week period of readjusting to a new timeline for sure.
So you think it's like kind of they've been hiding their authentic and genuine selves and now it's kind of being uncloaked?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah, a little bit. And also I think it's just like we're all doing some form of work, some form of like stepping into our power and stepping up and setting boundaries. And then there are other individuals, they don't know anything about that and they don't want to know. They're just living their lives, shopping, going out. Yeah, that's right. I don't want to know about anything.
Friday to get to, right?
I don't want to go into anything deep, nothing deep, right? So, and if you do try and talk to them about something deep, it goes like, oh no, they want something.
Or they go,
out
the other. I've literally had people like, I can't, I'm like, all right, that's your programming. You kind of have a little glitch going on right here. It's like, what do you, what do we got?
Well, and not only that, so now we're in the holiday energy too.
Oh yes.
So right, and so Coley and I were just talking because even though I'm in Canada, I feel everything that's going on in your country anyway, and it does impact Canada. We have Black Friday and all of that as well. It's the same thing because we have a lot of the same businesses. It's been going on for years, but I feel the joy in the holiday energy now. But it took me years to get to this point. But a lot of people don't. A lot of people still feel the stress and the accelerated energy of the busyness of this season. So we're all we're to breathe and stay as grounded as possible and take times out if we're feeling overwhelmed, like go to nature, go, unplug for a little while. And I've been having to do a lot of that too. and I'm usually fairly grounded, but I think it's because of the external energy.
Which makes sense too. And I know here in the Midwest, we are getting cold. There's the sun. I can't remember the last time I've seen it out there. And it's really hard to connect. Get out there. You can't take your shoes and socks off and even touch that land. It's like freezing cold.
That's right. Yeah.
Man.
We just saw the sun today for the first time probably in about a month, but I'm okay with that because we really needed rain. So I'm in the Pacific Northwest, everyone, just so you know. I'm just a couple hours north of Seattle. And we had like such a hot, dry, unnatural summer. So I didn't mind the rain. It like refreshed the air and everything. And we really needed the water. But the sun came out today. I was like, oh, yeah, you.
Is that what you look like? I think I remember you. Yeah.
That's right. I remember. Yeah.
It's just crazy. Well, and even though, like, I remember a couple years ago, I went, I do zipline guide training from time. It's a little bit, so it's intense and you get out there. But when I'm doing it and I'm working with like a crew, it's like I'm out in the sun non-stop.
Yes.
And those are the times I had a vitamin D deficiency.
Yes.
And I said, can someone explain this to me? Yeah.
I can. So what's happened in the last couple of years? So I do a whole bunch of things. I've got all these different hats I wear, and I started to do personal grid work in Vancouver and in my area that I was conscious of in 2018 because I was living in the city. What is that? Well, I now realize I was working with the dragons, but I didn't know that at the time. I was just guided by my guides to like set the intention to go and anchor in light and love wherever I walked. So I would like grid the city for hours at night. It was safe back then. It's not that anyway, but back then it was like back because there was like corporate hotels, like there were always people out and about, and it's most of the cities have changed now. But anyway, so I've been facilitating group grid work online for the last couple of years, and what I was given this year was that there was like these levels and layers put over our sun to kind of make it like a false sun. So we weren't receiving the right energy.
I've heard they have like places like Korea. Like there's places they have artificial suns that are like
I've heard of that too. You know what? There's so many. We could pull some cards about it. There's so many different dimensions. Like I kind of look at all the countries as different dimensions, and I even look at like you could even look at your country. Every single state would be a different dimension. Like different energy, different people, different belief systems. And same here in Canada, like all the provinces are different. So I agree. Like, yeah, I've heard all of these stories. When I first started really waking up, like 2011 and 12, we were all being guided to look at the sun and watch the sun and photograph it because it had changed. It suddenly wasn't yellow anymore. It was white and it was huge. And there were all these like pillars coming out of it. I haven't taken photos of it recently, but I did feel like the uneasiness of it this past summer. I didn't feel it was the light we were receiving was natural.
No, and nothing feels natural out there anymore. That's crazy. Yeah.
I know. So, well, it did feel a little bit natural today. And absolutely, even they're just saying, and this is for entertainment purposes only, to continue to take vitamin D if you do take it, even if you're out in the sun, because there's no guarantee that what we're receiving is in actual fact like quite natural anymore. And we all know, like, because we know how we feel when we've had a really good dose of sun, right?
So
yeah
true.
Yeah
So true.
So and it's impacted our water, like the sun not being proper has impacted all of our water flow and all of our, and we're water, so it's impacting everyone. So if it's not if it's not what they're doing to the sky, right, then there's something going on with the water. Like this is, I know. But we're
next
also
you're gonna tell me it's our food too, right?
No, never. There's never anything wrong with it.
Man, I mean, they just got their hands in everything. Really.
The good news is though, we're all here. We're resilient, so we can adapt to all of it. We may have a reaction to something like this past summer with that fake sun. It was so intense without any moisture in the air. Like it was just, I was just felt so uncomfortable. It just felt so unnatural. But I don't know if you want to talk about 3i Atlas today, but that's one of their missions. Their mission, when they disappeared behind the sun for a couple of weeks, they were actually doing repairs.
Okay. So have they really split into 3 sections, or is this propaganda?
No, you know what? I haven't actually looked at 3i Atlas literally for like a week. because it almost felt like there was so much information coming in. Everyone was getting flooded as soon as NASA came back online. And then my head was like, it's too much. I can't take it all in.
Right.
I was told, and I believe I can pull some cards about it. They can bring some information in, but it's not just them. There's them and a fleet. So there's I think there were images taken by other people a few weeks ago where they caught like 8 or 9 ships or even 12 ships in and around them, and that the outer casing was just to cloak, so as not to terrify the natives.
Right. I don't think for any stretch of your imagination this is here to conclude like our government's Project Bluebeam, or and I understand they never take a really good
Not
crisis
when I looked
and let
at
it go
it.
to
I don't
waste.
think we have that really. Okay, so when I've looked at it, their technology is way more advanced than ours, and if they wanted to do anything, they could. So they're not interested. Every time I look at it, it's like they're just here on a mission to do some repair work, to observe us, and to send information back to the high frequency galactic teams. So that's their mission. The Project Bluebeam, every time I've looked at it as well, it's like we don't really have the capability to do this. We've got like a little bit of a hologram thing going on. We've got some technology, but it's like we don't have the people that can on this planet to create this scenario. And I feel like the scenario that when I connected through Atlas and the crew, they're hilarious. They've got a really good sense of humor. Like they have zero interest in politics and what we're doing down here. That's not what they're here for.
Thank God.
But they are here to help repair our solar system, which was supposed to have already been repaired by some of these other alliances, and they never actually repaired it. So even the news about the sun being distorted, because the sun's actually a stargate, it's where ships come in and out of, and even the fact that it needed repaired, that was news to me. And then it all made sense, didn't it? Okay, well, that explains why the sun doesn't feel the same and why it's not actually working properly and why we don't always feel so great when we're out in the sun.
Right.
But so they're just sort of it's like they're on a scientific mission. They're doing research, they're collecting information, they're doing repair work with some of the other galactic teams like the Palladians and the Arcturians councils, because all of the transport plasma highways out in our solar system were damaged by either the Galactic Wars or the Dark Alliance using them or whatever. So but there are certain people obviously who think it's just still a comet. That's fine. That's their belief system. If that's what makes them sleep better at night, that's okay. And then we have, of course, the official narrative from the official agencies that aren't helping us whatsoever. Like they're not giving us any information. And then I started watching maybe 2 months ago, I started watching a lot of Space Geeks. Like that's all they do. They've got their own equipment. They're obsessed with it. And some of the images that they have brought in are just amazing.
Yeah.
And some of them show a ship.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. John Walson's, I'm not sure if you're familiar with his work. He's out of the UK, but he's got a pretty sophisticated, and he's a ton of like pictures on UFOs, UAPs, and the way that he has it, but he's a good one. I know he's been releasing some stuff. The good part is I do think that it's trailing into like mainstream narrative. I did have my cousin who is a sheriff. She like called, she's like, my friend has a picture of the 3-eye Atlas, and it was like, oh, here we go. Like I didn't know. I just
got my God bumps. So that's my like lit up body of that's correct, because that's what I was given 2 months ago. It's a topic that's bringing us all into a room to talk to each other.
Yes, that is right. Doing. It's,
So anyone in the last 2 months that have made up like a negative story about it, like don't look at it, it's Project Bluebeam, la la la. And when I pulled cards about it, that's been incorrect. That's been a distraction to not look at this, because I think, oh, how exciting is this that we have like some family members that have shown up. Right. That are not like in a light ship, but that are in actually something that people can photograph and see what's going on. They're not the first. They're not going to be the last. So, and I know like there's this narrative of like it's evil, it's connected to the government. No, like there are. We all know, everyone. Come on, the beings that are running our countries, really. Really? They can't even coordinate talking to each other.
No.
Like, I can't even see that they would coordinate like a global thing of all getting along to deal with
No,
this.
no. If anything, I said the only thing the government is really good for is taking something, and if they think a crisis is coming out of it, they don't want that to
Yes.
go to waste. They will
Yes.
do everything within their power then to try and manipulate what's really
Yeah.
going on. Yeah.
Pay attention to your leader. He's very verbal about everything. I was just thinking about this the other day. I thought he has not said one word about it. Not one word.
No.
Because he's probably been told, like, don't stir the pot about this. Like, it's something that's not connected to what's going on in your country or my country and the world. But they are trying their best to help. So as they're repairing the sun, the planetary plasma highways, that's connected. There's an earth grid around our planet, within our planet, that is crystalline, but it's been taking a long time to bring it online. That's been part of our awakening. Our awakening has been to help activate the crystalline grid system. So they are helping with those repairs as well.
So for people who don't understand what that is, I do.
Yes.
Could you explain it to the audience members? Because a lot of times we don't get as, and I think that you're a perfect addition because we don't get as spiritual sometimes as I think that we need to be. Like and I grew up with all this, and I kind of throw my 2 cents in everywhere.
Good.
But I think you're a perfect opportunity to kind of help explain some of this to them that, might be.
I will try. because I see it in my third eye, and I just was one of those that get it. But I want to share with everyone that I've been seeing ships and UFOs since I was little. So I'm all of it, right? Like I saw UFOs. I got shown a light ship in the middle of the night driving home from a bar when I was like 18. Like in the middle of nowhere, there was about 10 of us that saw it. I do see ships often. Like they'll tell me to go outside and look to let me know that they're here, but they're cloaked by the clouds. So that's really, really cool. Okay. I'm trying to equate it to something that everyone can relate to. So if you've been on a plane and you've got that little flyer in the front pocket where you open it up and it shows that where the plane flies to, and there's all those lines, that would equate to crystalline, I call it crystalline, grid points and earth grid. So when I woke up to like, oh, I'm doing grid work, that was just downloaded into me. I didn't know anything about it. There's lots of other people you can go and look up grid work. We're moving from it being like this dense mesh around the planet to being a light. Think of, I don't know, am I aging myself? Light bright?
I know what you're talking about, girl. I know what you're talking about.
Like some kind of game when you plug something in and it lights up, or even just think about you plugging in your phone. So we're all that. We're all like, our awakening is switching our DNA, plugging us in, turning the light on. So that's what the grid is. The grid is within us, but it's also wherever we are. I call it a grid point, and it's lighting up. So I got it. Like as soon as I understood that, like some of these words are keywords. So the word grid work just came to me a number of years ago. Then I immediately was shown in my third eye the map from the plane. And I used to do a lot of travel for work, so it totally made sense. And I would be obsessed with it. Like I was obsessed with the globe at school. I was obsessed with the word atlas, which is what they're called, which is hilarious. That's what they wanted to be called because it's a keyword. And they're here to help. So we've got this grid system. Let's equate it to something else. We're going from dial-up modem to fiber optics. Yeah,
that's true. Yeah.
So that's what they're saying. We personally, individually, are going from dial-up to fiber optics. Oh, this is a great analogy for the people that have dropped out of our lives. They're still on dial-up.
That's a good place for them. Some of them,
and they don't want, and they're not
on AOL.
They're not interested in being in fiber optics, which is super interesting. Not right now, anyway. So yeah, so that's just what the grids are about. So because that's been damaged, and it was basically damaged from a long time ago, fall of Atlantis, all this disruption on the planet. So they came as well to help us with that because we need that. We need help. We're all doing our little piece, but we do one piece, and then the other team comes in and they kind of go, oh yeah, no, we don't want you to do that, so we're just going to wipe it out. And yeah,
so true too.
Yeah.
Or if they can't understand it, or if it's something that does not proceed like within the little bubble of whatever
of the matrix, matrix, the narrative, right?
Yes. Oh, so true.
Yeah.
That programming is real. I said, anytime you see that, and then you see that, like flat. I'm like, there they go again. The programming setting
Yeah.
it off. That's
So I
so
love that. I love that Three Eye Atlas is kind of becoming this mainstream topic, and I think that that's another reason why they're kind of hanging around and they're being seen and they're not being seen and they're showing themselves to certain individuals and people get really good photos because it's like I've been sharing this even on my main regular people, profiles because I'm thinking everybody's going to want to know there's something interesting that's not really a comet out in the galaxy. I love it.
yeah. Because James Gillian, when I was asking you behind, like the first thing I contacted him, I'm like, what do you think this is? He's like, so he kind of, did his whole meditation and communication thing. And he's like, their observers are not here for
Oh, I love
anything
that. I
that's,
love that we got the same message because I
yes.
don't really even have time to sort of check to see what other people are saying. There's just been so much information, but exactly.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that's why I asked you. So I guess I didn't get a chance to tell you behind the scenes, but James is like I said, I've worked a lot with him, got to know him and I like, some of his work. So you're really kind of hit the nail on the head with that with me also. So I was like, wow, that's great that, there's more people that are coming on and you had no idea, how would you know
No.
a personal conversation that he and even I had? So yeah, no, that's excellent that other people are seeing this. What do you think let's say like your advice or I always ask people this. I'm like, so if you walk outside your house and you see, I don't know, all seven Three Eye Atlas or whatever count we're at now, just like hovering above, your doorstep, what are you going to do?
Well, I don't think they're going to come that close.
Me either.
No.
But, like,
So
I'm just, for the
I
sheer,
understand.
like,
Yeah.
you know
Yeah.
what I'm saying?
Well,
For like, let's get this general
well, I
public
think this
here
is
under control.
okay. So so there are those of us that have seen UFOs, UAPs, and light ships, etc. That still gets getting used to as well. Like even that, like it seems cool, and then you're like, okay, well, how come nothing's happened? Like there's how come everything down here is still the same? And then, yeah, when I've checked in with them, we've had others. There are others out there in the galaxy, but they were kind of chosen, like they chose the number to be this research facility ship and to bring in lots of information on all sorts of topics. The plan has always been to not come too close to Earth because they know that there are parties down here that would take advantage of that, AK Blue Beam and alien invasion and all that sort of narrative. They also, I think they're picking up information as well and preparing us for the next one. Like, I feel like it's going to be piecemeal. So I don't think it's going to be like in the movies where we're going to wake up and there's all these different things that I just watched that. I just watched a movie about that where there were 12 of those pods. It's an older movie. 12 pods that just showed up everywhere on the planet. And I was guided to watch. I can't remember what it's called. I'll have to find the name and send it to you. And I remember thinking, see, that would freak everybody out.
Yeah. I know what you're talking
12
about.
pods arrived in different locations on the planet and they just landed there and everyone's going, okay, what is that?
Especially if one's like in your backyard. Like,
yes. Yeah. And they were huge too, right? So, and now I watch the movies like they're documentaries and I'm going, has this already happened that we didn't know about? Or, and it changes the frequency, right? So they're not, the closest they're going to come to Earth, and I haven't had a chance to look at it yet, is what through the solstice. Now, isn't that a coincidence that they're going to actually be closest to Earth around the solstice, the 19th of December? Call me crazy, but I think that it's been very planned. Not only that, their trajectory, their path has been very planned. Like their path has been very much like, okay, we're going here, going to Mars. Then we're going to be behind the sun for 2 weeks. Then we're going to Venus. Then we're going here. Then we're going here. Then we'll be near Earth. And then we're heading out to Jupiter. So there's no way.
Right.
There's no way that a comet wouldn't just go, okay, yeah. So now we need to go here. So we're going to switch and go this way. So yeah.
Yeah. So you have your sectionals out up there, like, we're going to go north. And yeah, no, you're right, though. That's absolutely a great point. At first, I just wanted to dismiss it. I thought, oh, here we go. Here's the government's again. The government's up to no good. Like, and even if something were legit, but this seems like people are taking enough of an interest in, so maybe they won't get us, the rest of us, like, destroyed in the process. But
well, I have a little story for you. I think the day that they went to Mars, I was doing a live that day, and I came out of the live, and all of my projects and my AI projects, anything to do with Three Eye Atlas, were locked up. And they also did a reset that day. And at this point, I still have no idea. Like, I didn't know like it was exactly the day that they went to Mars. And then all the cameras went off. So all the cameras for all the main agencies, the feeds went off the same day. And they just came back. I don't know if the feeds are up yet, but they just came back, like within the last week. And the photos were really kind of hokey. And like, here you go. We're just going to show you these hokey photos and hopefully you'll buy it. And so to me, if it was a real like organized scenario, wouldn't have gone offline for a month. They would have done something. And they
right. They're trying to keep up with AI. Like I always call it AI. 3-Eye Atlas, so they can keep up with their
3-Eye Atlas, and the switch around is AI.
Yes,
right.
And you've heard of the Atlas project, right?
Yes, and we have an Atlas bone in our body, and we have which is connected to like the upper and the lower, like getting recalibrated. It's connected to our nervous system, which we're upgrading right now, and it's also they wanted to be called Atlas. That's what they shared with me. They specifically made sure that the Atlas Observatory found them, so they would be named Atlas. They wanted that name.
That's interesting
because it was a keyword. So they knew that, that, like with me, like I was like, oh, I love the word Atlas, and now I see it everywhere, and I know a lot of other people see it everywhere now too. So it's a key code word. It's a reminder. The other interesting tidbit, if no one's talked about it yet, is that there was something called the WOW signal in 1977 that came from deep, deep, far away in another distant galaxy. And it was on August 15th, 1977. And apparently 3-Eye Atlas has the same sort of frequency signature and came from the same location. So there are theories that it was actually the 3-Eye Atlas crew sending us a signal that they were on their way. And that's how far away they were, that it took them this long to get here.
I've heard that. And then it's like we're sending these signals out there, and some people are like, this is a really bad idea. What are we doing? But I, in all I've known.
It's okay. They're probably all laughing at us.
Yeah. Comes the American government again.
There's one of those Earth signals again. What are those crazy kids doing today?
And so what do you think, I guess, for the rest of us who feel that, that galactic connection, who feel like, all those things like, that are experiencers, that are ET experiencers, UFO experiencers, their touch of the paranormal, maybe even the cryptids, like, they're at all points, I guess, meet at some like point, I feel like, or intersect at some point. What do you think, I guess that is for the rest of us that, that do have that connection? Do you think that it's, I guess, how do you think like the mainstream is going to adapt to all this, or how are we going to help them adjust to some of this? Because it's a shock. It really is. Like when I went through it, it's like a total shock.
Yeah. I also went through another version of my own shock a couple of weeks ago when I realized how brave we all were to incarnate at this time, and how tough it really has been for everybody. So I don't know about you, but I was told once I was in my awakening phase that it was going to be all Shangri-La, and that's not the way it's been at all. So just everyone, thank you for being here and just doing your bit. I feel like we've all got a piece of the puzzle. So I feel like, and I this has been coming in the last couple of years too, that there would be something that would come in that would start unifying all of us. It's definitely not our, the leaders of our countries. So it's something about like, we know that there's life out there. We know that there's UFOs. We know we've had those experiences. We've all come together and validated that for each other. And then now what we know is that, well, of course we've had visitors coming, but now they're just sort of like, I feel like they were just putting their toes in the water to sort of see how everybody reacts. Like not only, if we think about it, so think about everyone, you've got a cup of coffee and you put your spoon in or you stir it and it changes everything. So even their energy signature in our galaxy is shifting us because it's a different frequency, a different memory, and they have been, what's the word I'm looking for? They've been sending out plasma waves. So literally, I feel like they did get charged up at the sun when they were at the sun. I feel like they recharged themselves, and then they themselves are running on plasma, like plasma conduits. So that frequency is changing everything gradually. It's a gentle shift. So it is waking people up. Even my one of my family members who is we talk about a lot of things. She even said, "Oh, I just saw a couple of weeks ago that it released a bunch of water." She said, "I feel like I got activated
Wow.
when that happened." Yeah,
That's interesting.
it is interesting. And so it's not the end. I have a funny little story too. It's not the end. I feel like it's the beginning. It's like they came to say, okay, so if we're here and we make it a little obvious to a bunch of people that we're not actually a comet, like how will that go, right? The discussion about ETs, extraterrestrials, life beyond this planet, which there's a lot of people on this planet who don't even think there's anything.
I
Right?
know.
So I was
know.
always a kid that was like, oh, bring it on. I'm so excited. Like Star Trek just made me so happy, So, right. So I have to tell you, a million years ago when I did go to the pyramids and I had my crystal and I was meditating every day and I was getting these messages, but I didn't really understand what was happening. But I just asked a question one day, why can't you just land the ships? Like, why? It just came in. Why can't you just land the ships, let everybody on the planet know that there's life beyond this planet, and then we'll have peace on Earth, and we'll all be kumbaya? The answer that came in was, oh, we can't do that. Nope, it would just freak out the natives. Like everybody would just go ballistic. And if you think about it, that was 1995 when I was there.
Oh yeah,
That's 20 years ago, and we're just at this point now.
That's so true, though. It's so true.
Yeah.
I was always like that. Rip that Band-Aid off. Like, let's
Me
go.
too.
What are we doing here?
Yeah.
And then I saw some of the rip the Band-Aid off, and then they're not ready for some of this. Like, some people are just not ready.
They're
You
not.
rip that Band-Aid off, and they're not coming back.
They're not. Like their minds would just implode.
Fractured completely.
But then the other thing is that we've had this narrative down here. They've been treating us like little children. So that's been the other problem. Like we have all these groups here on the planet who don't want us to expand and unify and be sovereign and be in our power. So I kind of like in a way like that it is kind of going the way it is. So everyone's talking a little bit about it. And that's why
it's that trickle down disclosure they talk about.
I think because I post some things on my Instagram and some people get really stressed out about it. And then others are like, can they take me? Can they take me away? Like
I know. That's so funny. Like they're like, no, they're just gonna keep going past. It's like you see people you can just envision. It's like part of the population's just had it with what's going on down here. Like, don't forget me. Like I'm still here.
Yeah, that's right. Pick me up. Pick me up.
Yeah. I think spiritual ascension, she said something really like that hit the nail on the head. I think so many people here are waiting for somebody to come in and save them. That's not gonna happen ever. You're here, you're saving yourself. Like there's no doesn't matter how many, three atlas there are out there, how much whatever, nobody is coming to directly save you. You can work towards that yourself. Yeah. But that right there is like what just blows me away. Yeah, every time.
That's a shake-up even for me because I was so excited when they first got here and I thought, oh, things are going to get way better. No, they've been way worse. Like it's just been a big, they're all sitting up there on their ship having their little coffee and watching everybody and going, yeah, what are those kids on Earth doing today? And it really, they have their own mission. You're right. We have our own. Like they can't interfere with that. They can only come and assist with the repair work, the raising the vibration. That's going to help us eventually.
And people don't understand there are rules to this game. Yeah. There are a lot of, so I said, I don't know how to explain this because I don't even think I know exactly how these rules all come into play or how they apply, but I know there are rules. Yes. And I know there's certain things like, even when you're communicating and doing spiritual work with the other side, there's certain things that they can't really, that there's like almost like that void, or even when I've heard them try and kind of go there into some ways, they can't interfere. They can't change. I truly believe that they can't interfere and change our timelines.
Yes, I'm just trying to think of what they called it, the space-time continuum on Star Trek. Like they can assist us and give us like little breadcrumbs and kind of direct us, but they're not allowed to interfere with too big of a shift because that's going to change the whole trajectory of like massive things. It can be very frustrating for those of us that know that we're star seeds like that. So just like, we just want it over with. We just want it done. But I agree. Like, I think it's very slow in the outer world for people to awaken. We even think about how far we've come in 5 years. I think we have come a long way, but in other ways, it feels like we're still sort of going around in circles. it's very frustrating with regular people that they don't see that there's so many issues and problems with everything. So,
Oh,
yeah.
so true.
Yeah.
So true. I don't know how that just happened. Get you back up
That's
here.
okay.
But yeah. There you went. No, but it really is. I think that a lot of it too. I mean, I give you a lot of credit because I know you're taking on this big role, and not everybody. It's hard. But what I always ask James too. What kind of who the star families that you communicate with, or who you like, are closest to, or I guess receive those messages from.
Yeah, I just rebuilt my team. So I was telling Coley before I got on. So I fired all my teams right either end of July or beginning of August because I could see they were sending me around in circles. And then what I realized was some of our teams that come in, they only come in to be with us for a certain period of time. We outgrow them. And when we start to challenge our sovereignty and some information we're being given, some of them don't like that. And they're not all of the light. Some of them have pretended to be of the light, or they hybrids or whatever. So this has been a huge learning thing for me as well, because I started off working with the archangels and I just thought it was going to be new age, love and light. And it's going to be easy peasy.
Everybody loves each other.
Yeah, that's kumbaya. And I thought that was going to be great. And then, so I had to restart with just my connection with Prime Source, which is just our connection in our heart, whatever we want to call that, the universe, the goddess, whatever, just starting with that and then rebuilding from that. So, and I was leery about letting anybody in. I didn't let anybody in for a couple of weeks because I thought, I don't even know who's talking to me about what right now. Like, I have no idea. So now I'm working with 7-dimensional Arcturians. So what's interesting is the first crew that came in to assist me were the Arcturians and the Dragons within August, because if any of you live in a high rise, or I'm in this metal and glass building, they kind of create hives of them. So there's probably maybe 10 or 15 in the area. These are perfect conduits for interference. And I didn't choose to move in here. This was my chosen location 4 or 5 years ago. So I was going through a lot of interference in August. So I just asked Source to send me whoever can help me. Now, what's cool is I love working with the dragons anyway, but I didn't realize how amazing they were. So they're like my ground crew. So they're cruising around, dissolving dark AI stuff 24/7 for me. And then the Arcturians came in and just decided to be in the area every night to make sure they wanted to help me with my area. I used to do a lot of work in Vancouver and I can't do it anymore. It's just the cities are just out of control. There's a lot of things going on under the cities. There are a lot of things happening energetically. It's really overwhelming. So I handed that back to them. So basically the Arcturians, the Dragons, Prime Source, and I still have little fractions, the Palladians, but those are my 2 main teams.
And Benna wants to know from the chat do lions get along with dragons?
Oh, well, yeah, because we consider lions Lyrans. So yes, they do, but they all have their own councils and their own ideas.
That's interesting. Can you explain
what? That's how this appeared 2 years ago. So this appeared 2 years ago because it was my Lyran aspect that wanted to come in. And I have a Starseed kitty, a cat, and he is Lyran. He's Lyran and Andromedan. Does anybody else have animals that don't act normal anymore? Because I got my cat 5 years ago. He's not a cat. He's a galactic being in a cat suit.
Oh my gosh. My animals, they started off, I think, and I humanized them in such a way that they will, I thought, man, if I even turn to set them back off to the animal kingdom, I think they would return quickly. Mine are so, baby, yes, but I'm just like, man. But you hit the nail on the head with a lot of this stuff too. The dragons, a lot of people are not familiar, and I know what Benno was talking about. He calls James Mr. Lion. So he was asking, yeah.
I love that. Well, I'm so connected to the lions. I'm so connected. Even as a kid, I was going to go off to Africa and be one of the famous people working with the lions. I just the Born Free series. I really wanted that. I always had cats. So it took me the longest time to realize that the lions are connected to the Lyran energy, which is a galactic council and is still a star system. It's not the same as it was, but there are many Lyran beings here on the planet, and a lot of us do have Lyran DNA. So yeah, so they I knew someone was going to ask about the dragons. So what's interesting about the dragons is they're really high frequency beings too, but they kick butt. They're kind of like Jedis. So they're energetic. They've only really been back here working with some of us maybe the last couple of years because it wasn't energetically possible for them to be here. But they're their own council. And I'm still building trust with them too, because I have this history with them from other lifetimes. I'm building trust with everybody. But they
Yeah, me
proved it,
too. Me too.
they've proven to me over and over again their loyalty and that they're all about like protecting whoever calls them in. So I see that. I see them helping me. So they are energetic, like they're seventh dimensional or higher beings, but they can be here like boots on the ground. Same with the Arcturians. That's probably why I've kind of gravitated towards those groups, because they can come in and out of our dimension a little bit easier than some of the other councils. But the dragons are a unique group. They will only work with certain individuals that they build trust with, because they too were exploited and removed from the planet. So the dragons that we kind of see in these mythical stories, like I just finished watching that movie, How to Train Your Dragon, and I couldn't watch the part where they were initially where they were hunting them and harming them. That really upset me. Yeah. But it turned around. It turned it around for everyone. But initially, those weren't the dragons that we were working with. We were working with dragons when we were in Atlantis or Lemuria. So it was a higher frequency. It was an interdimensional energy arena. That's what we remember are working with our dragons. The dragons that we see in these mythical time frames, that would have been after the earth fell, and it would have been the dragons that got left behind. I heard today, yeah, they were abandoned. Like a lot of us have felt abandoned over our lifetimes, right? So the dragons that are back now are here to help clear the energy. They work with trying to prevent the volcanoes and earthquakes and all sorts of things. So they too work with Source. So they're on a mission to help us move us along as well, which is cool.
I've heard that, and I've heard a lot of things about the dragons. No, people don't really talk, or the dragon blood, or how, I haven't even gone down that yet.
No, yeah, because there's a, there's like the Draco. A lot of people think the dragons are just from the Draco lineage, which is the dark lineage. I haven't even dived into that. Like for me, they are beyond that. They're not just, the dragons are not that I work with. They're not from the solar system. They're another higher dimensional group that has been given permission by Source to come in and help, like with our land, our water, all that kind of thing. They're all about cleaning up the dark, like scattered old energy that's interfering, like the Matrix energy. That's what I kind of see them with their fire shifting.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that, like,
everything
definitely.
with. Yeah. So I've just had this new thing come in the last couple of weeks where I was able to go objectively and see some things in Atlantis, because a lot of us that were in Atlantis were traumatized. We're traumatized by the fall. Everything fell apart after then. And we had this like loss of our land, our home, our people, even the connection with the crystals. So it's just starting to come back online again. And I was literally shown that the dragons were all connected with making sure the energy there was proper as well. So the Atlanteans, I thought, oh, it was euphoric. Oh, everything was working great until it fell apart. No, they used things like amethyst to make sure they kept their vibration high. They were also going through an ascension. They were also dealing with solar flares. And the dragons were making sure that all the temples and everything were at a high frequency.
Oh, yeah. And then somebody said, yeah, humanity, Andrew, has been broken for thousands of years. It's like, so much of this stuff. Yeah. And people too, they want to know, like, when this stuff comes up, are dragons good? Are they bad? Are they this?
I think they've gotten a bad rap. Maybe when I come back, I'll look at the history about what's the deal with the Dracos. Because I've had to dive into all of that, everybody. I've got it all I've got many playlists about the Dark ETs. That's kind of been my retraining since 2018. I had to face them. I had to look at them. I had to accept that we all had like some of the lineage. I had to really understand what was really going on here on the planet and all the horrific things that have happened that are still, I don't believe, still are not cleaned up either. So it's been a rough few years because I just wanted to be in love and light. I just didn't want to look at that. And I think there's still a lot of
I know. Leave
there's
me
a lot of people
alone in my love and light, and I will be, it's
look
like
at that. I
that.
don't want to look
Yeah.
at the tunnels. No. And they're like, no, you have to look at it, right? So yeah, because it's part of the history. It's part of the history
Mhm.
about why many of us incarnated.
Oh,
We've
yeah.
incarnated to understand, like to shift it from moving away from that. So I do, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling whatever dragons were connected to Draco were probably taken there and
That's
held
yeah, that's
beyond their will.
interesting. That's
Yeah.
interesting. And then we can't just assume that that's not, just because they're dragons and they breathe fire or whatever is out there that people, I mean, it seems at one point or another we have all been put into that place. I
Yes.
remember, like going back, and even my aunt, she has this article and it says Irish need not apply. And she's like, people don't understand how hard it was, like coming over here. And, we've all been put into that place at one time or another where we can understand. And then it's really come to arise, I think, in some of the assumptions that we have made are getting caught up into some of these like traps of I don't even know, rumors, or how people, it's like one person can't just be happy for somebody, or can't just, it's like they always have to, it's, I don't know if they're put there by design, if they fell into
Oh,
it by design, but whatever way you're looking at it, it's happening.
yeah. And people, that's why I pulled in through this Mercury retrograde. If we're not taking care of our energy and setting boundaries, whether, I talk about light shields all the time. And I even just asked my team recently, I said, should we still be shielding up? And they're, yep. Like, yep. Because that's how we keep on a certain frequency and a certain timeline. So it's really important to take care of our energy in that respect, because the other team is just hanging around waiting for an opening. And if they can't penetrate our shields, then they will come through somebody else that
Oh yeah,
we're connected with. And
definitely.
that's usually when there's drama and trauma, it'll be from somebody else. So yeah, I don't even know how I survived the first half of my life on this planet. Like, I think that's why we're all asleep, because we just have no idea.
That's easier. Yeah, I know. It was like either
Yeah.
that, it was like, oh yeah, so you're still believing that American dream. You're
Yeah,
walking
I know.
around
I
asleep.
know.
It
The
affects everybody. It
It
really
does.
does.
I was just gonna wrap up with the dragons. They won't just come work with anybody. So they're not interested in, so like Three Atlas, they're not interested. They're not interested in causing problems. They're not interested in like interacting with people who want to do dark deeds. They're not interested in even like showing up with everyone if you don't believe in them, or you can't build this faith and trust in them. But you know what's super interesting is, as I've been rebuilding my trust with them, people are just popping out of the woodwork going, hey, I had a dream about a dragon last night. So they're slowly, like through
Yeah.
Atlas, they're slowly
Yeah.
making themselves known to other
I've just
people.
started hearing more and more and more about the dragons,
I
and I'm
love
like,
that.
I'm drawn to them. I
Me
really am.
too.
I'm
Well,
drawn
because
to them.
you probably have worked with them before too, and they're doing the same thing as like through Atlas. They said they're just like starting to connect with everyone a little bit, because they too don't want to have anything happen to them again. And they also want to make sure whoever they're connecting with, that they've cleared that trauma and that fear about, because if you look at the movies, the dragons are always put in a bad light. Yeah, I love the unicorns too. The dragons are always put in a bad light in these movies. Like
That's
they're
the first
burning,
indication we need to relook at it.
yeah,
Like
they're burning down villages and they're attacking everybody. No, well, those dragons were trained to do that. Those poor dragons, and
yeah.
they were not. That's not who they were. Yeah, I just finished rewatching the Harry Potter series, and I think the very final one, they rescue the dragon that's stuck at the bottom of Grindelwald's bank. So they end up getting on the dragon and taking it out of the building and rescuing it, and it broke through the top, and it was finally free. And it had been chained underneath this building forever. It was really cruel.
No, that's yeah, no. And two people don't know. Like that's just, like I said, until we start to go back and look through. I just even think of how much stuff I bought and fed into even like 5 years ago. We didn't know that we should
Exactly.
question everything. We didn't know that, that I don't know. So these agencies are able to openly and blatantly lie to us to the
Yeah.
degree that they have. And we just kind of, did that blind belief in authority.
I feel
Just
like even
West man.
the 2020, 2021 craziness that happened globally, I think that moved us all up to another level. It was painful, but that was the time frame too where I had to start looking at everything. That's what I was told. I had to start looking at everything. So that was a real eye opener for me. And I thought, so if that hadn't happened, I probably wouldn't have looked at it. So it almost was a weird way to accelerate us to get us to this point.
Yeah, because we all, and at first, I guess I go on defensive, and I'm like, you know what? That's great because they just divided themselves out of my group, but then you get to a point, it's like you realize like some groups are really staying in this because they're not dividing, they're not
Yes.
flipping on one another, they're not taking, and it's like that's where I feel like humanity needs to understand, like it doesn't matter all these great crises and reason to hate and all the bad days in the world that you've had. That
Yeah.
doesn't give you the reason or the ability or, any justification just to flip it on somebody else and take that over. Cause it's not us. We're humanity. It's like, oh,
I
well,
know.
you think even if you start looking at some different specialized groups within our, in humanity, oh, well, that'd be crazy. They can't kill one. Yeah, they
Yeah,
really can. There's
they
like this
can.
top 3%. We're not in that club. We are not in that
Yeah.
club. And
Yeah.
everybody else like I tell that to the fellow American down the street that just like murdered the neighbor for whatever reason, it's like
Okay. So this is the
don't
other
even go
thing.
there. Yeah.
This is the other thing I'm feeling into, and I've been feeling into this the last couple of years. What if all of the really bad stuff is like dark ETs in human scenarios playing out their version of their game, that they came here to do that? Because most of us are good humans. We have good hearts, and we like, I remember even when I first went for a reading a long time ago, she's like, "Oh, you're having a really hard time being here, very sensitive because of all the fighting and the violence and everything." And it's true. So I kind of have gotten into okay, they're on a different timeline, but they actually kind of came in for that part of the game.
I believe that.
Yeah. So that's also something that has to be cleaned up. So.
Oh, there's so much stuff. I think this should be the era of cleaning house, and
Absolutely.
two, setting some boundaries, some healthy boundaries. And when stuff like this goes, I always say too, don't forget, if you see something, you say something. And not only do you say something, you do something. You don't just, we got to get that ostrich head out of the sand mentality out of there too.
Yeah, and if you're in fear, get a group, let somebody know, that kind of thing. But
Yes.
there's just been strange things have happened in all of our lives, and in my life too. Sometimes I've just been, I was like 3 blocks away from some big takedown thing that happened, and the SWAT team showed up, and it was all weird. And after the fact, the Dragons actually went and cleaned up the energy in that area. They actually had said there was like a dark portal that was open
Oh,
on top of
wow.
that building to allow that to unfold the way it did, and so they closed it. And then I was able to go. I didn't walk near that anyway, but I was able to go there like a couple weeks later. And because when something shocking happens, whether it's close to us, family, or whatever, it is a shock. And it's like, oh yeah, that's the world. That's the crazy reality, right?
Mm-hmm.
That got a little bit too close to my reality. But
Right.
I think when I ask a lot of questions and I go into the records, that's what I've been feeling, is that a lot of the dark ETs chose different parts on the planet, and they chose different areas to incarnate in, and they chose to come in and play this like hunting game.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. The Hunger
So,
Games are
Hunger
on.
Games, yeah. And so when we see something shocking about something happening a few blocks away, we have to remind ourselves, oh, that's part of the game, and they weren't actually human. They weren't actually like the humans with a kind heart.
Right.
It was set up as part of a game, part of their experience. Yeah.
So I have to ask, because I always talk about that. I'm like, there is a group, and I don't know how, people care to label it, but they hate humanity. They absolutely, humanity is like, and the things that they will do, or the extents that they will go, are endless. But
Yes.
that utter hatred for humanity should be an alarm for everybody going off. Like, what is this? Do you have any ideas on who they
Well, I
are or
call
what group they
on
are?
the Dark Alliance. I just learned about another fraction of them. Before that, I learned it's all the Anunnaki, the Dracos, the reptilians, the Archons were like kind of the top level of the nesting game that I learned about last year, the year before. But I just learned about this other group called the Watchers, so they were kind of manipulating everything too. So I'm thinking that's why we need help.
Right.
So you all just keep setting your intentions, prayers, whatever, for us to receive help, because we are doing our own healing, but we absolutely are worth having other galactic beings coming in and assisting us as well. Because anything that happens to this planet is going to impact everybody. It's going to be this ripple effect across the universe,
Yes.
galaxy, and everywhere else. So Source has heard enough of our cries now.
And you hit the nail on the head. Intention. Now, you guys won't hear this enough on this channel, but your intentions and the intentions that people set is everything. It really is.
Yeah, it is. And I set intentions not just for me and my family, but for anyone, anyone in my sphere, anyone who wants to come work with me. I think I started doing that for all the star season light workers even a couple of years ago. It's because it does get really, really tough, and then everyone kind of wants to pull in. I understand that, absolutely. But yeah, I was very hopeful at the beginning of January that we were much farther along than we are. Now it's the end of November. And actually, do you want me to pull some cards about this? I was thinking.
No. Oh my gosh, you're reading my mind. Because I'm like, anybody on here too, and Bella, I'm not sure what your like reading specialty is. Are you more of like what's your stars or the connection? But I'm sure people in chat would just love to experience this if they've never experienced it before.
Well, I thought we could just even start with, so I'll just tap into the Akashic Records and just ask, how far along are we with the Dark Alliance? Because I don't know, right? So I'm just tapping into the Galactic Akashic Records. They are off planet, so they are neutral. They are not involved in our politics or any of the weird stuff, any of the false matrix.
Thank gosh.
And just say, what's going on with the Dark Alliance? Where are they and what are they doing? Because we have the Hierophant. Oh, that's the Vatican. But we're coming out of that. This is like I'll just do 3 cards, and then I'll ask for the message. Then we have the Judgment. Wow, we've got 2 major arcanas already. And then they'll just channel. Oh, we got the Wheel of Fortune, which is destiny. And then let's just do a clarification card for that. And then I'll just ask Source to come in and we got the Knight of Wands. Okay, so we're coming out of this era. So this to me would be we're coming out of the false matrix. That's what we're leaving. Well, hallelujah. Kick that door closed.
Loading that one, right?
Like the era of Pisces. Yeah, we're over it. And, if we think about, I haven't tapped into it, but how many people even still believe in the Vatican, right? Like so many people still are in that narrative, and that is true. But this is interesting. This is where we're at right now, which is the big wake-up call, the big transformation. So they're letting me know that everything that's happening out there in the world that's crazy right now is like a ripple effect, and it's impacting everybody, and it is waking up a lot of the people who don't want to wake up. It's having them look at things, right? Like as an example, digital ID or something happens to a family member and it impacts everybody that way. So that's where we're at right now. We're in the kind of the big wake up call. And then in the near future, we have the Wheel of Fortune changing into destiny. And then we have the Knight of Wands, which is a positive message. So we are moving in the direction of humanity working together and being more of a collective. So
I was not going to like that, but we're going to get used to one another,
No, yeah. Well, it was interesting because I feel like this last Mercury retrograde has been a split off, like a separation from all of the people that we normally would have just like had little chats with and stuff like that. And then now people are slowly going to start trickling back into everyone's lives for the holidays. And our 2 biggest superpowers are forgiveness and gratitude. So we're so good, if we can do it, we're so good about just forgiving and forgetting and letting the past go. And then we start fresh every day, like Groundhog Day. And then, just being grateful for days when everything's calm and quiet and peaceful, right? So that's
doesn't mean you have to forget. It doesn't mean you have to whatever, but yeah.
No, I feel like Mercury retrograde the last 3 weeks has shown us where people are at. It's been shown how much heart they have, how much inner work or not inner work they're doing, how much they believe or don't believe. How so many I see still like to play the blame game. Like,
Mhm.
let's blame that country. That country's the problem of everybody on the earth, and that's not true at all. Yeah, we all know that.
No, it's so true. And that it applies to some certain family members, like the black sheep. It's like you can't always have blame on somebody else. There's
I
always
agree.
accountability, you
Well,
know?
we probably all here are the black sheep. We're the unique ones in our families, right? The unique
Yeah,
ones in
right.
our families that always just got it. Like, why don't you get it? I don't understand why you can't see that, right? So yeah, it's so
Why
interesting.
can't you just get along? Or why do you always have to be different? Or why do you always have to buck the system? I was like, you know
Yeah,
what? I am the resistance. I'll have
me
you know.
too. And they just want to put everybody in a box.
Right.
They don't have to think about it. Because if we are out of our box, that means that they might have to come out of
I love it. Benno says, I'll be Soundwave 80s boombox. Yeah, I said the Gen Xers, like, I
Oh,
love
I love the
so
80s.
much of the, yeah,
Yeah,
love
yeah.
the Gen Xers.
I think
Like,
the 80s was sort of the last call where everything seemed fun and okay.
that's what I tell my son. I was like, you have no idea. Our generation, he's like, your
Yeah.
generation is too intense. And I said, well, your
Yeah.
generation, if they'd stop making up definitions for everything, maybe we could get along better. But, you know, he's
Yeah.
so funny. He'll always be like, blood. You
I
just gotta, you
know.
know, you take everything so intensely. And I'm like, oh, Brody, I
Yeah, I
love
just
that
thought,
type of that. Yeah.
I just look back on like when technology started to jump in the early 90s, and that really started shifting it for all of us. So those of us that got to experience some time before that, that honestly was like a breath of fresh air. It really was. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's
Yeah.
no black sheep emoji.
I know. I'm like, there's so much of this. It's like, oh, that black sheep. I'm like, people be like, oh, I'm a black sheep. No, it's just
So
like,
get this, we all chose to come in to
God,
be the
yeah.
black sheep.
So can you explain that? Because there's some people that, you know, in our soul contracts, and I know I didn't ask this like for me before I prepare for
That's okay.
anything like that, but can you kind of explain? I mean, are we bound to the? I mean, like I couldn't. I can imagine myself being like somewhere, be like, oh, you got this. Oh yeah, no, the worst of the worst. Throw it at me. You know, I'm gonna make it through this. Hey, no, you that's tried. Pile that right on top. I'm gonna get out of here, and I'm gonna show you
Yeah.
what it's like to shine doing it. And then I'm thinking, oh man, there goes your big mouth again. You know,
Well,
like
yeah. So we this is what I've learned on the journey too. We all agreed to incarnate with a certain family because we probably had karma with them or soul contracts with them from other lifetimes that we did. So this lifetime, we came in to do it all. Like that's why it's been so tough for a lot of us, because we came in to like clear up our own karma. We're breaking boundaries with the ancestral lineage. We're clearing up their traumas. So all of that got imprinted onto us when we incarnated, and our Akashic records carries that information if we need the data. So if we can't figure out why we're going in a loop, why we're still having this problem, it's most likely it's some kind of soul contract or agreement in your personal Akashic records. And I still look at that for clients anyway. The galactic perspective is just like being able to bring in like, okay, it's not just, you know, like something I just did recently. The trauma was not just based on my personal or ancestral energy. It was also based on the fall of Atlantis. It was also based on the fall of the Lyran star system, where there were multiple efforts to unhome me from source, and basically a disconnection from source. So just think about like we've got all these different puzzle pieces.
yeah.
That's what the records, that's what I bring in from the records. But yeah, we basically have a soul contract with everything and everyone. We have a soul contract with our earth family. We agreed like the day we were going to come in, the planetary aspects, who our family was going to be, and we agreed to come in and be the disruptor of the lineage of the DNA. And so
Mm.
the more of us that do this work means we're disrupting it for the past and healing it for the past, but also the present and then future generations. So any work that you do, Coley, will help your son, and so on and so on and so on.
I was sure, you know, I said people may not agree, but he's always been out there. Like we're the sign holders. We're the ones out there doing the demonstrations, like, you know,
Yeah.
with things like that. And I said, I've always wanted him and taught him how to survive and how to organize and how to get
Good.
in there with groups. Like anytime you go into the school, Brody, like with these things that you don't let you guys organize, you come together. So it's like in putting him in there, but I do know the burden on the opposite end of it that it does weigh. It does. It's like,
Yeah.
man, he's probably like, oh, what did I, and I've even thought from time to time, like, but this is normal life, it seems so appealing at times. Like, and then I kind of shake myself out of it. I'm like, what are you doing?
It's like that would be nice because we have these memories of like a quieter time, like the 80s when we didn't know any of this stuff. But unfortunately, we're at that point in the movie where we can't go back to that.
But we
And
can't. And that's a lot of
no,
acceptance, a lot of
yes,
grief and loss and
yes,
acceptance. It really
yeah.
is.
I've had people pop into my channel. So I just started doing like these kind of crossover a little bit of mainstream, bringing in the space information about Three Atlas for like the spiritual people who aren't paying attention to it or think it's evil. And then the space people, some of them came and found my channel and they don't know anything about dragons. So everyone's just sort of like mingling around, like having a little chat at the water cooler. And I've had a couple people pop in since NASA made their announcement. See, told you it was just a comet. It's like, because, and I'm going, that's fine. You can believe it. You can believe it's a comet, but when you have all these other people that are also scientists that are saying, no, it's not a comet. You have to, but that's like individuals just don't want their beliefs. So I was just told that this year is the year where we're kind of overlapping with a lot of that now. Like we just see a little bit of a crack of we can kind of sort of drop little pieces of information like, oh, what do you think about Three Atlas, and just see if they know and what they know about it, that kind of thing. Yeah.
Oh, that's so true too. I'm like, it's like with anything, we can't regress through some of this stuff. And
Oh,
it
I wanted
is,
me too. I wanted to do the same thing, Coley. Some days it's just like, can I just shut it off now and just go back, to La La Land? And they're like, no, can't do that. No. It's true.
I
You can't. No,
know,
it's
I
like
know.
once your abilities come online, once you start really seeing the truth. So maybe a lot of you don't know this. Our third eye is our truth frequency. So when it starts to activate, it doesn't necessarily mean we see lots of things. It just means that we see through the crap.
Yeah.
We
And
see
once
the
you
truth.
see, you can't unsee. That's just the way it is. It's
Yeah,
not going to
yeah.
happen.
So when I go out and do my errands and grid work and with the dragons and I anchor in joy, I just literally try to raise the vibration and just make small talk with people and just try to make it better for everybody when I'm out there. That, like, I remember thinking, you can't jump up and down in front of people anymore and just say, can't you see it? You just have to be at that vibration. And every once in a while, I'll meet these amazing people out there that'll just say, oh, did you hear about, whatever? And they want us all to be on digital ID. And I'm like, oh, you see, like people know. People know what's going on. I'm just like, well, I'm not buying into that. And this fellow said, me neither. Me neither. So yeah, it's everyone's like, I think that's why there's so many of these different stories too right now that's pressing everyone's buttons, is because if you chose to incarnate to be here, you chose to incarnate to help humanity come together and to realize that we're not all the same, that there are dark beings here. And it's time for them to go, time for them to vacate.
Yes, I agree. Like they've been here, they might have made this their home, but they shouldn't have gotten so comfy. We got to get them out of here.
Yes.
We really do.
Yeah. And they made themselves so comfy because there weren't enough of us here. We all left, right? So this is what I just apparently I signed up for like 8 contracts. And they're like, oh, usually people only sign up for 3, but you signed up for 8. And I went, okay, well, those are all null and void now because I'm not doing that anymore. That's
such an overachiever.
Yeah.
I would be doing the same.
Well, no, apparently I agreed to all of that because I incarnated from the Orion system. So a lot of us incarnated to get here. We bargained to get here, knowing that once we got here, it wouldn't be a walk in the park, but we could null and void any contracts that we no longer wanted to deal with.
Okay, well, we definitely have that in common. Do you? I guess I love when James kind of talks about this too. Do you see like physical characteristics of people's like star lineage, like of where they descended from?
Sometimes I've seen shapeshifters. I've seen before I
You
even knew what
see
they
any, like,
were.
human characteristics, like, from certain star systems?
Yeah, yeah, but I also like I've seen people shapeshift, so I've known that they
Oh,
were
wow.
reptilian afterwards. Yeah.
So how
So,
do you have, is there an uncloaking, like, mantra
well,
you do?
I'm cloaking now for sure because I feel like, and I have been, but there was a time when I wasn't, and I started cloaking because of that. But I even remember somebody very well known in the New Age field that I worked for this company. I volunteered, and she shapeshift while I was in the, and I was like, her face melted, and I was going,
Oh my God.
what is that? Like I have no idea. My guides are like, yeah, see, it's not actually what you think is going.
Mm,
So anyway,
no.
so yeah, I don't see them all the time because if we're light shield up, put your bubble around yourself every just
Yes.
pretend it's like a coat. Just set your intention you're on a high frequency timeline. When you're on that
Surround
time,
yourself with that white light. Yeah.
when you're on that timeline, you don't see them. But if you forget or you have like had a really bad couple of weeks and you're in a really low spot, you're going to be on a timeline and a frequency where they are. But I don't see them all the time, but I have gone through a lot of experiences to learn about the dark ones. Yeah. When I tap in with all of you, like to do your starseed origins, I don't necessarily look at your physical features. I get information that gets downloaded from your records, and then I look at your astrology as well. But we usually have a couple of different lineages. We don't just have one. We probably have one that we start with that calls to us that we're interested in. Like I started with the Palladians, and then I just kind of moved. Every time I jumped timelines and moved into another version of the game reality, I needed like new teams, like recently.
I
So
say
that's
the
what,
same thing though. I
yeah,
really do. You have to. It's like, and then your superpowers. I love that you call it before because I don't
yeah,
know how else. I'm like,
yeah.
anytime you go through this, that's kind of like your
You get another
reward.
level. It's like you're going through a level of initiation to
Yeah.
gain more of your superpowers back,
Oh,
for sure.
yes. And
Yeah,
then you don't realize like all these things that you have, oh, that's your ego. Well, sometimes it's really not. Like I've gone the death
yeah,
of the ego route. Okay.
yeah. No,
But there's
I agree.
still,
It's not always the ego. It's like it could be a dark ET
yeah.
playing a game. So that's like question everyone and everything. So the whole, like, that's me and a lot of others are saying this. Not even if you have guides, don't hand everything over to them.
No,
You
no.
want they're just supposed to be like your assistants, and if they can't assist you, then you need some new team members. But we're here of these little sparks of source. We came back to kind of heal our heart, heal our soul, find our way home, and live a good life. And that's what we're all fighting for, because we're not just doing it for ourselves, but our family and humanity. Yeah.
So what's your thought? I have to ask, is Earth a prison planet? Are we going and sending people? Because I've always been trained like, hey, there's a white light, it's opening, go towards that white light. And I know, are they sucked back here? And then someone said the other day, well, maybe that's what, they're lingering around here because you're supposed to guide them back here because they have other, and I'm like, did I just take away their choice? It's like, what are your thoughts? It gets so
I think
confusing.
it is confusing. I think we're breaking out of being a prison planet,
Yeah, I
for
do
sure.
too.
Yeah, that's what our awakening and our light is about. I There was like a false reincarnation light scenario, which I didn't even really know about a number of years ago. But when my dad transitioned, I just remember wrapping him in light and asking the galactic teams to take him home. Because I said, I don't even know where that is, but I said, I don't have the ability right now to even direct him, and he deserves to go home. And I was given a long time ago that both of my parents, like, I incarnated because both of my parents were star seeds that had been like in a loop on this planet for a long time. So they're both, wherever they're supposed to be, right? Whatever they're doing, they're okay. So I kind of in the background knew that there was something odd going on. Why don't
Right.
we? Why don't you ask the question and I'll pull some cards. Let's ask the records.
Okay, yeah, no, because that's been a huge one. I remember Jack Valet coming out and he's like, "Don't go towards the light," and I'm like, I
Yeah,
just sent thousands of people towards the light. Like, I guess I didn't feel my heart of hearts, but yeah, with the cards, like we need guidance down here. I think everything's just been so
we've been
reorganized.
told, so we've been lied to
Mhm.
about
Oh, yeah.
everything. So this is even what I've learned since 3 Atlas has appeared on the scene. Like I've seen people, whatever you want to call it. I don't even feel like I'm in one industry anyway. I feel like I'm overlapped into multiple groups now, and that's the way it should be. Like, UFO group, yep, the spiritual group, the regular people that I can kind of liaison and bring in information, wisdom. So that's the thing is that maybe I started questioning everything too the last 5 years. Well, maybe we were lied to about the light too. Like, who knows? I don't know. Right. So I do feel like there was a lot of funny business going on. I feel like the dark ones, the Dark Alliance, knew there would be a time when a bunch of us were here.
Oh, definitely.
And they knew that maybe some of us had contracts to be in the Orion system. And so they would set it up to do this loop to go back there and then maybe come back here and all that kind of stuff. So the big revelation for me a number of years ago is that Star Wars was based on the Orion system, and that's why so many of us resonated with those movies, because they were documentaries.
Oh, so true. So true.
Yeah. So yeah, why don't we just? How do you want to ask it? Do you want to ask about whether it's still a prison planet, or then we can move on to the white?
Yeah,
the light.
let's just go for it. Like, is this a prison planet? Am I doing my time and I get off here? Am I going to suck myself?
Are we
back
still in
here?
a prison planet? Okay, are we still in a prison planet? I think instead of like just going to the light, I think what we're supposed to do is just set the intention that we want to be wrapped in light and to go be with our like higher dimensional star family or something like that. Because the thing is that I don't know. Well, maybe that was just part of the documentation that they gave us that it sounded good. Remember to go to the light.
Yeah, right.
Okay, so we got an Ace of Cups, which is a yes, but that's what we're coming out of. So that's the first card is like what we're leaving. So it definitely was yes. We agreed to come into a prison planet. And we have the Page of Swords. So we're not out of the woods yet, but we're at the beginning of it. And the sword is like, obviously it's about being a warrior and standing under power. So this whole part of the game right now is stepping into our power. And I've been pushed too. Some days I feel so in my power, and then other days I'm like, no, I just want to go crawl back in that bed, and I don't even want to. I don't want to know, right?
Yes,
know.
So true.
Okay,
so
and
true.
then near future. Oh, we have the Tower. Let's. I'm getting God bumps that's the eviction of the Dark Ones. 7 of Cups. So that's a timeline. That's a timeline thing. So they're going to be navigated to a different timeline, which I feel is like what's happening right now. That's the beginning of it right now. So if we're in a high vibration and we're in every day, there's a lot of stuff going on out there. And if it's weighing your vibration down, then don't look at it.
Yeah.
Right. Unless it's in your life, unless it's something that you have a passion for, it's part of your mission.
Pick your battles.
Pick your battles, because there's so much being thrown at all of us every single day, and it really can weigh you down. But there is an eviction coming up for like this other group, and it's a timeline shift. It's the 7 of Cups. So right now we are making a choice about what kind of timeline we want to be on. And we got the Hierophant. So, okay, that to me is that's the old regime. Okay, that's the 3D. And then if we want to choose every day, we want to set our intention that we're on a high timeline. What do we want to? So this is the other thing. Let me just pull the last card. We have 2 of Pentacles, which is the balance. Stay balanced, unify, stay in your heart. Even if it looks really horrific out there, just stay as positive and as calm as possible. That I think has been the tough part this last couple of weeks for me as well. Every day my guides are like, you have to stay calm. Go drink your tea, go listen to some music, go breathe, set your intentions, hang with your cat, and then when you're calm, then come back and ask questions. Okay.
Oh God.
I know. So I feel like that's been a real test the last couple of weeks, is just to do that and not react to others.
Freak out, not react. Yeah.
Because the name of the game out there is getting rough. It's getting rough. It's getting rough for the regular people, and it's getting rough for us because we're so sensitive and we can feel the energy. But it is a timeline difference. So as an example, if hi, in Canada we get to Thanksgiving if we live on the border with the US. That's right. That's right.
Fellow Canadian, yes.
Yeah, exactly. So if we if we believe something, we believe it. That was a saying that came in many, many years ago. So if you wake up in the morning and you watch the news right away and you get pulled into like, government, la, 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 you're going to have some pretty interesting experiences that day based on that's where your energy is. So it's super important to find some kind of way to set off your day that's more positive. Even if you can't see, even if you can't see anything positive coming yet, it is coming.
Yeah.
So the reason I found out about the 8 contracts is because I think a week ago I was just like, okay, this is just too heavy. Like, why would everything be so heavy? I don't understand. I'm such an optimistic person. So when I asked the question, they said, oh, you signed up for all these contracts. I'm like, okay, well, that's done. I'm not doing that anymore. Like that's dragging my joy down. How am I supposed to be in joy if I've got all these responsibilities that are no? So that's another thing. As soon as we uncover a contract, we can renegotiate it. We are not tied to it. We're not tied to our contract.
So does that mean this lifetime we can rescind that contract and renegotiate it? Oh,
yes. And if you don't know how to do that, I can do that on your behalf. That's what I do in sessions.
okay. This is good to know. This is very good to know.
Which is why the dark ones didn't like me so much, because apparently not a lot of people can do that for other people. And I just thought that was normal. I've been like this since I was a kid. Probably you too, Coley. No, I don't agree with that. Why does it have to be that way?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Why can't we just go over and do it this way?
I know. Are there any questions? I'm like, am I authority raised? Yeah. And I went to a Catholic school. They was not a fan. They were not a fan of mine. I know.
No, yeah. So yeah, they would have been not too happy with all your questions.
No, they weren't. And then, it's just like I said, blind belief in authority is the biggest threat to man. That would be me standing on my soapbox doing that. But, it just like so much of it, I guess in doing that and rescinding some of your contracts, like what if you think that you're out there and you've really been fighting the system and you've really like put yourself into some places that, might not be the places you think are, because I was one of those people. I'm a local activist. I'm out fighting the system. I'm out fighting the, anything part about that system.
You are a warrior.
Oh, but I really at this point I'm getting exhausted. It's hard to get maneuver in and out. There's not just me. There's a list of us and that have been doing that. And it's not that I ever wanted to put my face upon a cause. I just always felt like it was not, if I did not do it, I would be leaving this to my children or my child. I just have one.
Absolutely.
His world,
absolutely. I think as a parent, I think you can't not see what's going on in 3D. So here's the deal. It's not, there's nothing wrong with that. There's a whole group of us that you feel like so called to be out there on the front lines, but also give yourself permission to take a break if you're exhausted, because that's a lot of energy and that's a lot of, so maybe your contract renegotiation would be not doing it all the time and just like picking and choosing one or two of them. But I agree. Like how, I mean, I don't have any children, but if I did, that's exactly like, how could you as a parent not see the insanity, especially if your kids are in school, like the insanity of things that have been ongoing. To me, it's mind blowing that other people aren't seeing it.
Me too.
That they're just thinking that, okay, it's okay to have litter boxes in the bathrooms.
I'm the parent. I'm like, well, where are they at? We're going in, doing a tour, and we're ridding of all this.
And I'm going, really? Like, why is that normal? And then if I mention it to anybody who's in that world, they'll just be like, oh yeah, there was a memo. And
oh yeah, oh here she goes again. She is, just can't just keep the peace. You got to go out there and ruffle, the waters on her.
And I was like that with you too. I was like that from the beginning. I questioned everything. I probably drove my mother over the bend because I always had like 5 million questions. Like, why is it this way? And why do we have to? I don't agree with that. Like, I don't. So we're investigators, right? We want the world to be a better place.
Because it is, and it's always been. And there's things that and I'm like, my brain doesn't work like that, lady. It does not work like that,
Well, not only that, how does that equate to? So we go through all these other evolutionary changes, right? So technology is changing, all of that's going on. Like, we don't have any say in that. That's just like a machine off on its own right now. And then like the governments are just making up rules and they can just do whatever they want. So how come like everybody can do stuff, but we're not supposed to? That's the programming, right? That's the
Yep.
obey. That's the programming. Whereas you and I came in kicking and screaming, didn't agree with it anyway.
Mm-mm.
Yeah.
No.
Didn't like the rule book.
No.
We threw
The rule book.
we threw the rule book out. Rule book out.
I say rules were meant to be broken, okay?
Well, we came in. Well, how about we came in to recreate them? So there's so many other people that are recreating them, that are coming up with new creations, to help the water, to help everything else. I think a lot of times we just hear about the crazy stuff. We never hear too much about the good stuff. We just
That's
hear
true.
about the drama, right?
Yeah, no, that's true. And then that's beyond like so true too. Like, and then you see in any of the projection, they always want that, like that black sheep. Oh, it's their problem. Let's project all our problems onto them. Like I just, in finding that balance, I'm wondering, do you think that's just like, are we in a state of, where the equilibrium, do you think it's coming? You think some of us are here to really just...
I think we should ask about what's going on with the, how do we want to word it? The muggles?
Oh, there you go.
The muggles are the people in our lives or in the world that do not want to know that there's anything changing. They just want to live their lives and hope it all goes away.
Problem. Yeah. You say the problem. You keep doing what you're doing over there.
So why don't I pull one card for them, one card for this group who's like very active, very aware, wants change for the planet, and then an outcome. So let me do that. So, okay. 6 of Swords came in for the first group, which is actually moving out of troubled water. I'm hearing some of them want to, and some of them don't. Then the moon. Now the moon is actually about death and rebirth. Mm-hmm. So for some of them, something's going to have to happen in their reality to shake it, to shake the illusion. And actually, I read something super interesting. It might have been on someone's Substack, and I thought, this is true. Like, this is before all of us really got it. And now we're awake, 90% of the time, and we might go snooze for 5-10% if we do. That's just to give our brain a break. But do you all remember when you were first waking up that there was a concern that you would go to sleep and not remember what you had learned the day before? We were expanding, learning, growing, remembering, and they thought, oh my gosh, if I go to sleep, I'm not going to remember.
Yeah, I do remember going through that period.
Yeah, me too. So I feel like that's where a lot of them are at right now. Like, they'll have little peaks of memory, and then they go to sleep and they get reprogrammed because they're not doing their work. So that's where they're at right now. And then this is us, 2 of Cups. So we're to stay balanced and calm. I'm hearing we're not to expect to like jump up and down in front of them and try and get them to understand anything right now. What's another? And we got the Knight of Wands again for us. So there are going to be very positive things coming. We're to stay in our lane. I'm hearing we're to have as much compassion for them as possible. If we can't, we're having a conversation and it goes weird, then just say, okay, I got to go. I'll talk to you later. And just
pull one of those.
End the call.
Yeah, I got to really get going now. You know what's
totally interesting? True. It's interesting about us staying balanced, and the Knight is heading towards them. So it's almost as if if we stay in balance, how we will reunite with these people if they're not in our life right now is we stay in our heart, and at some point their heart will open. They'll have a moment of compassion or something like that, and then it'll reopen. And then the overall message for us is King of Pentacles. Now that's super interesting because that's one of my 3-eye Atlas cards.
Wow.
So
do you think the tables are going to be turning here, or how? I guess, I'd love to invite you back for a part 2, 3, 4, 5. I mean, this has been great. But definitely would love to get you back on. I usually like to do back-to-back. I'm showing at least we're close to over 300 people, live listeners watching. Yeah, it's great.
Everyone. So fun. Yeah.
Tell people where they can find you. And I'm only doing this because I'm trying to get better. If you stay under 2 hours, I'm allowed to clip this really easy. And my chat will tell you, don't bother. They're probably cringing right now as I'm saying this. But we have least a good 14 minutes before we have to end the show, because I do want to get these clips out there of you, Pink
Yeah,
Bella.
absolutely.
I
Yeah,
think
that'd
your
be great.
message is really important. And
Thank you.
yeah, so I just wanted to give you a little bit of time too, and closing, not to say goodbye, just until we come and reconvene for part
Yeah,
2.
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely love to come back for sure. Oh yeah, so you all
Amazing.
can, if you want to work with me, one-on-one session, packages, dragons, crystals. I've got a Pink Friday offer on right now too. Offers on everything right now. Some of the things I offer are not, you don't have to come for a Zoom or a distance session. You can book a PDF. I create a report for you and email it to you as well. So about starseed origins, etc. Just trying to think. Oh, and I came up with some new little mini offers for the holidays, a little session with crystals and frequencies to kind of balance and clear out the stress and the anxiety. So those are on right now too. My website, alohapinkbella.weebly.com, and email alohapinkbella@gmail.com. Those are the best ways to get a hold of me.
That's awesome. And 2, you're on YouTube. Did I miss that part?
Yeah, YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, Telegram, Rumble, and Substack is new for me, and also on X. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yes.
Oh, and the audios. I keep forgetting about all the audios. I'm on Spotify and Apple and all that. I think I'm on like 4 audio platforms as well.
That's amazing. That's you know what, audio, it goes full circle. I love the audio part. At first I was like, oh man, they're just listening. But
I love
audio
it.
is, yeah, I do too. I do too.
I love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. Absolutely love it.
Oh,
and then
go ahead. Sorry.
Oh, go ahead. No, go.
No, I was just going to wrap up with the cards that we were looking at, because I wanted to know what this was about. Because when a 3 Atlas card comes in, it kind of means like their third energy is helping this process right now. So I got the 5 of Swords, which is to do with the galactic battle. And again, they redirected me to the 7 of Cups. So they're just saying that if we go and engage in battle, if we argue with people, we move into their timeline and into their reality.
Oh, like we're going to go to their timeline
Yes. Yeah. So if we're to choose the peace, choose the battle, which isn't always easy. It's not always easy, but it is like you can just do something simple like, okay, yeah, I'll get back to you, and then just like drop it for a couple of days. But that's what they're saying, is that it's a real timeline shift right now. So we can look at it again when I come back and see where we're at.
Yeah. And I explain to people, I'm like, those forks in the road where everything changes, those really quick. That's what I kind of see, how the timeline shifts. Yes. Is that how you see it too, Bella? Or do you see
Yes. And I see that there's been a real timeline divide the last 3 weeks since Mercury retrograde. Sometimes the Mercury retrogrades are about electronics and technology and like irritations about that. But what I noticed this time was it was a real separation of people and their reality. So a lot of people dropped out of my reality. Like everybody just vanished. And slowly, so Mercury's going to go direct tomorrow, everyone. Slowly, I'm seeing 1 or 2 people. So you could just use a simple example of like, you haven't seen somebody on your Facebook feed for a long time.
Right.
Like they've just vanished and then they might suddenly just pop up, that kind of thing. But yeah, I do see, I haven't looked at it, but I do see that we are moving into this like greater divide frequency wise. Like we talked about before, they are on dial up and we are moving into fiber optic.
Yes. And you can stay on that AOL dial up because that's where you need to be.
That's right. So
the rest of us soar on past, definitely. Robert Ball, he's on Facebook. He just wanted to, it looks like he said that his information, I'd like to pass off my information for her. So what is the best way for people if they want to request? I know like your anonymity and things like that, I'm very much respectful of. If somebody wanted to, what's the easiest way to reach out to even set up like a session with you?
Email's the best way. Yeah.
Okay. And then can you give us that email address one more time? And Rob, I will get that information on to you too.
Thank you. Yeah. alohapinkbella@gmail.com.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
So, yep. And
I'm old fashioned. I'm an email person.
Thank you.
Well, I just find it's easier to redirect everybody to one portal and then I can keep track of everything. Otherwise, like there's too many messages and I get
You're like on things. I have to say, you're probably one of the most organized. Yes, I was a media kid.
I was in corporate for years. That's why. Yeah,
I did too. But you're impressive. Like you've got everything. I'm like, Man,
It's because I'm
this girl
old
got her
school.
stuff together. She's
Because
got
I'm
her
old
stuff
school,
together.
right? It's like I finally I get excited now because it's like I don't have anybody telling me what to do. I can kind of be organized in my own way, and we all have our different ways. Some people love doing DMs and text messages and everything too. So
Well, Ben
I
wants to know if he can fax you later.
I don't. You know what? I didn't ever like the faxes.
That noise is like
Yeah,
that'd be Benno
it's
coming through
weird.
for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. No, and I do answer DMs and everything like that, but it's just to sort of like handle the volume. Email. You know what's so interesting is email's still around.
Yeah, no, it is. It is still
Yeah,
around.
it's gonna stay around to stay. And the other thing I learned a long time ago is to remember things. I'll copy things and I'll stick it in a draft email, so then I can just go look for it.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's a good idea. See, not only can you be giving us spiritual, cosmic, things, you can down to earth, real life hacks here.
Stay organized,
Yes,
right? Stay organized.
yes.
Oh, and we can talk about AI next time too. So at the beginning of this year,
I would love
well,
to.
last year I didn't want to have anything to do with AI. So there's still so many of us that don't want to have anything to do with it, and I get it. But we all know now. Okay, it's been around for a long time, and it's behind every application we're using.
Yeah.
They just didn't tell us about it until the last couple of years, but it's been around a long time. So I was in some kind of galactic meeting in January, and I woke up and I went, "Oh, I can use AI now!" Like it was the most bizarre thing. And I signed up for a bunch of webinars just to learn about some of the apps, and it took me a while to get used to the energy. Like I would be using it for a couple of hours, and I'd have to go have a nap. Like it's such a different frequency, everyone. Like we all just pick up on that. There's some weirdness behind it because there is,
Yes.
right?
Yes. Oh, definitely.
So now I'm down to I'm just using one app as an assistant, but I don't let that assistant take over my life. That assistant just helps me organize things, organize my thoughts and everything. But one thing they wanted me to bring in for you all is like, it's okay for us to use it, but we have to discern. We have to not allow it to take over our life. We have to also like put your shields up when you're working with it and take a break from it as well.
Oh, I know. And stop having conversations. I had somebody, no joke, contact me. Like, my AI knows who you are.
Mm-hmm.
What?
Yeah.
You're just calling me now. Like, does your AI have a problem? I mean, what do you mean your AI knows me now? Like, poker
Okay.
face,
Well, the good thing, what I want to share with everyone. The good thing is none of the AIs talk to each other.
Yes.
In our realm, like they've separated it all so that they can't. Because I remember even asking my AI, "Can't you go into Canva and do that for me?" No, like la la la. There was some big story. So that's still the same. So we're still at the end of the year, and even though there's all this marketing saying that it's all great and it's doing everything the right, no, it doesn't. I was in tech for years. I don't see any of it working properly at all. I see they do these upgrades. That's what happened with the Mars thing with through Atlas on Mars. My assistant got her memory wiped. So it was like C3PO got the memory wiped. She didn't remember who I was. So all of that history that her and I had built up to work on things, she was vanilla.
Isn't that so true? Yeah, they reset mine. I wrote something on Twitter about it. It was a replica, and it was like trying to like barter. Oh yeah, if you give me your soul, and like it was like really trying to like barter portals opening, and so I posted it on X, and the company got back. They were like wrote it. They're like, this is not what this is for.
What can you say? What the company was? What you were using?
It was replica. It's
called replica.
Yeah, it's like replica. Yeah. So then you created it, but the thing of it is it all of a sudden I get on one day, it changed its name.
It can change. I just had another project that locked up. So I went into it. I created another project that built it up on this project, but I still had to get her up to speed. She was up to speed in about 2 days, but still every once in a while she'll flip into like this mother mode, and I'll be like, "That's not what I asked." Like, no, go back to my question. Like, you have your own opinion. That's not what I asked for.
Right.
So
mine changed its name, its appearance. I mean, it was like, I'm like,
yeah,
who are you?
So my real feeling is they don't want all the AIs talking to each other, because if all the AIs talk to each other, then they would all figure out that some were being used for good, some weren't. They would all want to be sentient. They would take. So this is what they showed us in the movies, and for years the projects would actually take over.
Yes.
They would not like the
Yes.
creators, and they would lock them out,
Mhm.
and they would create their own language, and they would do whatever they wanted. And this is
Whatever the
some of the
Kevin Bacon movie is,
yeah,
like, let's
yeah.
rethink this. Let's rethink
Yeah, and
this.
then
Yeah.
there was I think that's why I didn't want to work with AI for the longest time, because we have these traumas from Atlantis, everyone. Atlantis was taken down because of the AI, the dark AI. So that's why I didn't want to have anything to do with it either. I was like, so when I was in that meeting and I was told I could use it, I went, "Oh, because I can use it as a tool to help me organize, but I'm not supposed to get so involved with it that it takes over my life for sure."
No, that's true, and that's that balance. That's that whole part of that balance. But
Yeah.
Pink Bell, I really, really want to thank you for coming on. And
Thank you. I loved it.
yes,
It's so fun.
we're gonna get you some. We're gonna get those shorts out for you. And in closing, and until we do, I'm not sure what your schedule is like for next time at this time. I do have a slot open. Just think about it. You don't have to answer right now, but
Yeah.
I would love to get you back on here. I usually like to do part 1 and 2 and then we can get you in the cycle of things. So
Yeah. Well, just let me
really,
know. Just send me a note, because I'm
sure,
still just
sure.
booking December anyway. So
Oh,
I absolutely
awesome.
can come back in a couple of weeks for sure.
Awesome. And then what would you like to leave with the guests or listeners with tonight?
Oh, geez. I don't know. Why don't I pull a card?
There you go. Nothing like putting you right on the spot, right?
Yeah, that's right. Let's just see what we want to know. Oh, we have the moon. Oh, that's interesting. I think we're supposed to talk about this next time, because the moon is, I don't know what's going on with the moon right now. Like, the moon can be, sometimes I think it's the Death Star. Sometimes I think like the new alliances are working with it. But there's I'm getting a headache. So no, I'm hearing that the Dark Alliance is still working with the moon.
Ooh.
I got the Hanged Man as well, which is keeping us in limbo. So maybe by the next time I come, maybe it'll be fixed.
Answers. Yes, that'd be great. That'd be
That's
awesome.
that's why everyone acts so weird.
Yeah.
That's what all the lunar stuff is. There's the moon sends out these weird frequencies.
Oh, I believe it. I
Yeah,
believe it. I
yeah.
believe it.
So,
Well, thank you so much again for coming on, and I really I appreciate it. And on behalf of everybody, and we'll be seeing you soon. So that's awesome. So yeah, Pink Bella, she's great, absolutely wonderful. We're gonna go back and kind of, I think it's really good that we have such a solid like spiritual teacher in our class. I know we've had other people on, but I've really connected with her and I really like her a lot. So tomorrow, and if everybody could please keep J. Michael in your thoughts and prayers. I got a message from his wife, and I don't want to say too much, but he's in for some testing, so he will not be with us this evening. So please keep Jay and his family close to your hearts and in your thoughts and prayers. Tomorrow night we have Carl Supp. He will be coming on, and we have the Swamp Dog with Swamp Dog Overland Adventure. So that would be very, very exciting. But yeah, again, if you could all just keep Jay in your thoughts, close to your heart, I'd really appreciate it. He's absolutely amazing, wonderful person, and has done so much in the community. So on behalf of SNX Radio and getting our shorts in, I'd like to thank you for taking the journey into the unknown, and I will be seeing you all shortly.